Hi YouTube, I decided to do a quick video here. It's going to be real short and sweet. Um, I picked up the PS2 9000 here on the right. Sorry about the glare. But I wanted to show the comparisons, just external comparisons between the 9000 and 7000 series. That's the 7000 series box. It is empty. That's one I actually used. Um, but really from the outside of the boxes, they're about the same height. You know, if you were to kind of look at it that way. Really, the only thing that's any major difference box-wise other than the picture is the depth. You can kind of see here, there's my finger, you kind of see the difference here. I'd say about a half-inch difference box-wise. Anyway, I'm going to pause it right here and pull out the system. There's already unboxing videos. If you really want to see someone take it out and unwrap each piece, I mean, feel free to go ahead and look at someone else's video for that. But I'll compare the 7000 to 9000 hardware in the same video. So let me open it up and I'll start it back up in a second. Okay, YouTube, I'm back here. This here is the 7000 series. This particular one is the 7012 I have. And here right beside it is the 9000 series. Both sport the same texture on each side. Here where the doors open up. Shepherd's Crossing, I'll trying that game out. And both have a very similar drive here on the inside. This is probably the biggest notice that most people will see. I've had this thing out of the box for all of, I don't know, a minute and a half. And this thing is that same shiny plastic that's on the PS3. The first run of the PS3. The 7000 series had somewhat of a shiny piece here. It's not very wide, and you can kind of tell there it's kind of nicked up and gotten scarred up. Mine's definitely had some years of use. This was actually the very first run of the Slims. It's been very reliable. But that's it at the top. I honestly thought this one, the 9000, would have been a tiny bit taller. I heard rumor that it was, but you can tell height-wise if you just follow the seam all the way up. You know, it's same height. So, and if you look at it from that angle, it's still smooth all the way across. Now, if we move on to the front of the systems, I'm going to try to stand them up with one hand and look straight down at them. This top one here is your 9000. You can see how they kind of streamlined it, you know, a flat front instead of the ridged. And the bottom one with the 7000 has the vent where the 9000 series doesn't. There's the infrared receivers. You know, there's the buttons. They tried to stylize the 7000 series more after the PS2 Fats. But these buttons are flush here at the top. So you kind of have to, you know, stick your finger into it a little more. This one has that ridge there, where these buttons are part of the texture ridge. Anyway, controller ports and memory card slots remain the same. So, and both have the PS2, I mean the USB beside the PS logo. Here's the underside, the top being the 9000 again. In the 7000 series, that's where you would screw in a base. It seems that they got rid of that feature, but they did add venting on the bottom. I'm guessing that they figured that most people won't stand up the 9000. There might be a stand for it you can buy somewhere, but I haven't seen it. I don't think too many people, because the footprint of these things are so small, I don't see too many people having to stand them up. Here's the back side, the top being the 9000 again. The 7000 had venting down here at the bottom with some screw hole or something there. I don't know what it is. But the top and the 9000 sports another vent. They totally got away from the line from, I guess, a standard telephone jack. And there's your internet, your network if you wanted to hook that up, your fiber, and your multi-AV out. Now this is the biggest difference to me, and one of the big reasons to own this. It has the built-in power supply. This one still requires a small brick. It is tiny. I mean, it's not as big as, like, you know, the 360 brick or anything like that. But it does have an external brick, where this top 9000 series, you just have that standard wire, you know, that everyone's, you know, seen before. And you just plug that directly into the back. No brick, nothing. Just a standard old power supply. I mean, power cord. No supply needed. And finally on the top, nothing really to see here. Other than, I don't know if I can get it in the light, will show very well. There it is. But you can see the top with the 9000 series has a vent on the top, where the 7000 series doesn't. Again, you stand them up. But that was kind of what I wanted to show for people. I know when I was looking to buy it, I was wondering if it, you know, sat a little smaller, but that's it sitting directly on top of it. I mean, you know, you can't even see the 7000 underneath it. The 9000 is not any bit smaller in any way, shape. It is lighter, even with that power supply in it, compared to the 7000. 7000 is an awful lot heavier. But other than that, and a couple little minor differences on the front, you know, the 7000 being textured, where the 9000, you know, is smooth on the front. There's not any major difference. So, I mean, if you're looking to pick up a PS2 and you have one of these 7000 series, you know, at least the one I've had has been real reliable. I would suggest just go ahead and pick up one of these, unless you know, really want the built-in power supply. If that really is something important to you, you know, you don't want to have a whole bunch of wires behind your television, and you just want to, you know, streamline it. This is definitely the way to go. But, you know, a lot of people are selling their Slims off pretty cheap now because they want to, you know, move into the PS3. And the 9000, again, definitely a good buy. You know, if you want a new PS2, I don't even think you can find the 7000s anymore. The 9000's what you're going to find in most stores now, unless there's overstock. But again, you're going to suffer from the same thing of the PS3s, of having to dust it, because this thing's now been out for 6 minutes, according to my time on this recording, and it's already dusty and fingerprinty. So I do like the double texture of the 7000 compared to the shiny. If you're just looking to shop and, you know, you can't really get close to it and you just only have to go on visual appearances alone, on the top, just remember the 7000, the older Slim, has the stripe in the middle, and the 9000 series, the new one, does not. It's just two-tone. So I hope this was helpful to a couple people that were, you know, deciding to pick up a PS2, and whichever one you can get fairly cheap. Again, that's $100 in the store. If you find new, these will be $100 as well, but you can find a lot of them used for, like, you know, 40, 50, 60 bucks. So whichever one's good for you. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.